Good morning, Enid. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday, May 2nd, 2019. So glad that you've joined us for the next 30 minutes as we bring you live television right here from Enid, Oklahoma at the Enid Television Network studios. And this is also the National Day of Prayer across the country and also here in Enid, Oklahoma. We have our good friend, Pastor Mark McAdow, with us to talk to us about today's event. Good morning, Mark. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Derek. This is Good Morning Enid. We are coming to you on Channel 12 and also in high definition 112 here from the studio. But we're also live streaming around the globe at enidtv.org. So you can see we've got our coffee cups. We're ready to talk National Day of Prayer, but we also have news, weather, sports. Thanks for joining us. This is Good Morning Enid. And you know what? It's time to rise and shine.
Welcome back to Good Morning Enid. We're going to first take a look at those bus stop forecast. So the high today is going to be at 62 and the low is going to be 53. Right now at the bus stop, it's going to be 52. So I think you should just like bundle up a little bit, the kids, or at the bus stop.
You guys aren't near as tough. I'm 50 degrees wearing short sleeve shirt and you're wearing the jacket. Either that or you made a phone call last night and I was too busy to pick up the phone. So it's going to be a nice kind of a spring day, but let's take a look at the 3-day forecast because we all have big plans for the weekend. Beach Boys are coming to town on Sunday, but it looks like we got some really great weather with 60s and then 70s. And look at Sunday. Chance of storms though, but anytime we're in the mid to upper 70s, that's very pleasant. Lows not too bad. They just kind of increase there, 40s to 50s to 60s. But that's the 3-day forecast. We've had some good rains this week. Over some inches of rain here in the Enid area, a little more to the west, a whole much more to the east, and but we'll use all the rain that we get. Pastor Mark McAdow from Willowview Methodist Church, and that's a long title, Mark, and but we're glad you're with us, but we need to find out about the record temps on this day, on May 2nd in the history. Let's find out what the temps were.
Okay, our record high was 90 degrees in 2008. And the record low, 32 degrees in 1907.
And every time we see those record temps, it always just reminds us, that is typical Oklahoma. It could be freezing this morning. Yeah, it could be. I saw a graphic on social media this week. It was winter at 10 this morning. At noon, it was spring, and different parts of the day, it really changed around. Okay, as Derek had the bus stop forecast, speaking of bus stop, let's take a look at the school menu, excuse me, here at 7:33 on this Thursday. And things are looking pretty good for Thursday. Pizza, salad, steamed corn, mixed fruit. I don't know, that sounds pretty good to me. I'm not a big lunchroom fan, but that's good. But we got the Plainsman Victory Burger for Friday. I guess because they're celebrating it's Friday. They've survived all week, so they get to have a Plainsman Victory Burger. You can see it right there with the onion rings and carrot cake, all kinds of options there. That's the school menu for Thursday, Friday. Both of those look pretty good. So, well, you went to California real quick. Tell us real quick why'd you go to the West Coast?
Oh, well, thanks, Steve. We just got back from the West Coast because my oldest son, Matthew, was married to his bride, Allie, who's from San Jose. So they got married at Stinson Beach in California, and I was blessed to get to do the ceremony there. So we just got back Monday night, but it was a wonderful weekend, a great event. So we're very thankful. We're glad to add another beautiful person into our family.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now we're taping this, so you can send this link to them and say, you know what, son, we talked about you on the show this morning.
All right, well, good.
Speaking of talking about things, we want to turn to one person, and that's always the bow tie guy, Derek Silas. He has the Oklahoma Minute to update us on all the news, weather, sports that really happened overnight.
Here's some of the top headlines this week. Coming up this Monday in the City Council meeting, the mayor-elect and the commissioners-elect will be sworn in for the next election. This will also be the first budget discussion meeting with 3 other expected dates to follow and an expected approval by May 23rd, 2019. In professional indoor football, the Oklahoma Flying Aces will play the Omaha Beef this Saturday at 7:05 p.m. at the Stride Bank Center. And also Saturday is the fastest 2 minutes in sports at 5:50 p.m. in Louisville, Kentucky, and will be broadcasted by NBC. It's also called the Run for the Roses, the most exciting 2 minutes in sport, the greatest 2 minutes in sport, and of course, the Kentucky Derby. The field is open to 20 horses. The location, Churchill Downs, has been the world's most legendary racetrack conducting thoroughbred racing since 1875. And here's an Enid fun fact. In 1893, W.B. Johnston began selling seeds, feed, and coal to early day Oklahoma Territory settlers. And in 1910, he, being a former school teacher, invested in a 40,000 bushel grain elevator here in Enid, making Johnston Seed Company the oldest and largest independent grain and seed dealer in Oklahoma. And on this day in history, in 1933, the modern legend of the Loch Ness Monster is born, when the sighting makes local news. And that is the Oklahoma Minute.
I've never been to a racehorse in my life, but I always watch the Kentucky Derby on TV.
Yes.
It is so exciting.
Yes.
And I heard this morning on sports radio that Omaha Beach was the horse that was picked to win Kentucky Derby, allowing it to go on for the Triple Crown. Well, they scratched it. Has a respiratory infection or whatever. So the horse that was supposed to win is out, so it moves everybody up a slot. So anyway, there's some great movies out like Secretariat and stuff like that. Those are always enjoyable. So just amazing how fast those horses do what they do. It's 7:37 on this Thursday. Thanks for joining us. And if you have some graduation pictures, you have some Kentucky Derby pictures. I know there's a Kentucky Derby event that's taking place, a fundraiser event in Enid as well. People dress up with the big hats and stuff like that. We'll send those pictures, wedding pictures from the West Coast, whatever it may be, to gme@enid.org, and we'll put the pictures, wedding, birthday, graduation, whatever it is. We'd be glad to put that on the show for you. And that's the email address, gme@enid.org. Well, again, Erin is on special assignment. She's doing some fun things with her husband on the West Coast, I believe. And so we miss her, but she'll be back here with us next week. But she's still able to do what's happening for us. So let's find out with Erin Savechnik what's happening.
Thanks, Steve. We've got a bunch of really great events going on. Starting us off is the 87th Annual Tri-State Music Festival and Ottaway Carnival. That started on Wednesday, and it runs until May 5th, and it is all over Enid. And the carnival is at Oakwood Mall if you have not already seen it on your way on Garriott right now. The carnival runs 6 to 10 tonight, 6 to 11 on Friday, and 11 to 11 on Saturday, and 1 to 9 on Sunday. Tickets are $3.50 for individual tickets, and wristbands are $28 a piece. There's a bunch of great events associated with this on Friday as well. There's the $1 Million Parade starting at 6 p.m. in Downtown Square, the Elementary Honor Band Concert at Enid High at 7 p.m., and the Grand Concert at the Stride Bank Center Grand Ballroom at 8 p.m. on Friday. So if you're a big fan of music, this is definitely great. Plus, you can take the kiddos down to the carnival right afterwards. So another really great event here in Enid. After that, we have May 1st Friday, because it is the first Friday in May coming up. This is in downtown Enid. It runs from 6 to 9. There's going to be local music. The Tri-State $1 Million Parade, which I mentioned earlier, is also going to be at this. There's going to be food trucks on Broadway, and shops are open late. You can look at the list online at the May 1st Friday Facebook page. So there's a bunch of really great events happening there. After that, we have the Mint Julep Jubilee on Saturday, running from 4 to 9 at the Oakwood Country Club. Tickets are $100 a piece. It is for the Hospice Circle of Love, and it's their annual Kentucky Derby party. There's going to be Southern food and drinks, auctions on horses, casino games, you can guess the race winners. Proceeds benefit not-for-profit care for patients without hospice benefit through insurance. So really great event. Plus, if you love horses, this will be a lot of fun. And that's what's happening. Back to you, Steve.
And I will give you a little insider tip. If you go to that fundraising event, do not cast your votes on Omaha Beach, because that horse is not going to show up. So just a little insider information there. It's 7:39. Erin, thank you very much. Good job as usual. and we appreciate that. We've had the opportunity to share the State of the City address. Pastor McAdow was able to attend the State of the City address with Mayor Shuey, and we've been airing that on the Enid Television Network. We have Mayor Shuey's comments and also Governor Frank Keating's comments as well. We'll air that from time to time. In that program, we had an opportunity to share with you a video called Enid is Your Place. And if you're unable to attend the luncheon, we're going to provide that opportunity to see the video right now.
Enid is your place to enjoy downtown nightlife and stay in our new downtown hotel.
Enid is your place where young people get a great education.
Enid is your place where we can all do business.
Enid is your place to support your favorite team.
Enid is your place to see your favorite group in concert.
Enid is your place to get a good college education and start a business.
Enid is your place to worship God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength.
Enid is your place to build new roads for a better future.
Enid is your place for great live theater.
Enid is your place to fly into, or to just learn to fly.
Enid is your place for art and science education and fun.
Enid is your place to grow your business.
Enid is your place where for over 125 years, you get the seed that you need.
Enid is your place to fly, fight, and win.
Enid is your place to catch the Junior College World Series.
Enid is your place to take Willow.
Enid is your place.
Well done.
Yes. Welcome back to Good Morning Enid. Our special guest today on the Good Morning Enid show is Pastor Mark McAdow from Willow View Methodist Church. So first, Pastor, thank you for coming.
Thanks, Derek.
Tell us a little bit about how long you've been in the ministry, and tell us how things going at the church.
All right. Well, it's hard to believe, but I've been in ministry about 33 years. So, but I've been at Willowview Church just almost 2 years in June. And things are going very well there. We just finished 2 weeks ago, Great Holy Week and Easter worship services, and those are fantastic. We also completed a Christian worldview study called the Truth Project that we offered to the community. That was just very well received and was a great blessing to us. And I guess one of the greatest things that's happened recently is that we're now being broadcast on Enid Television. Our church services on Monday and Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock and Saturday at 9 o'clock. So we're rebroadcasting a few weeks delay, but it's available to anybody who wants to see it. And I've had some very, very kind responses to that too. So lots of fun things happening. We've got a group of high school students going to Puerto Rico to help with hurricane relief in July. So I could talk a lot about the church.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons that you're with us today is because of the National Day of Prayer event,
right.
And there's an Enid event as well. But I want to talk a little bit about the National Day event, and I believe it was created. I'd like to ask President Truman what he was thinking at the time, but we go all the way back to 1952.
That's right.
When President Truman kind of basically put this in place. And if you go to the National Day of Prayer website, you will find this particular statement. It says, the National Day of Prayer is a vital part of our heritage since the first call to prayer in 1775, when the Continental Congress asked the colonies to pray for wisdom in forming a nation. The call to prayer had continued through our history, including President Lincoln's proclamation, a day of fasting and prayer in 1863. It goes way back.
Right.
Then in 1952, a joint resolution by Congress signed by President Truman declared an annual National Day of Prayer. That's a little bit on the history of that.
Yes.
I know, Pastor, there's a quote that's near and dear to you by S.D. Gordon.
Yes.
And I think we have that on the screen for us today. But tell us why is the quote, and you can read the quote or share the quote with us, why is that impactful to you?
Well, I think it just gives a great summary of why prayer is so important. So S.D. Gordon said this: the greatest thing anyone can do for God and man is pray. It's not the only thing, but it is the chief thing. The great people of the earth today are the people who pray. I do not mean those who talk about prayer, nor those who can explain about prayer, but I mean those people who take time and pray. And that's what this day is all about, a national day for us to take time out and to literally get on our knees and pray and ask the Lord to bless and heal our land.
Sure. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, thanks.
When it comes to the Enid event, tell us, I know I've been here a decade, and I know they've been doing it for at least a decade. How long have you been involved in the event, and what made you want to get involved in this event?
Yeah, well, thanks, Derek. I've just been involved actually last year and then, of course, this year, because I became a part of the Enid Ministerial Alliance, and it's our Ministerial Alliance that helps host and sponsor the event. So my time here at Enid obviously limited because I haven't been here very long, but I've been involved in the National Day of Prayer for well over a decade. As I served at First United Methodist Church in Oklahoma City, we hosted many of the statewide prayer events there in that particular church.
And I'm sure you're involved in events in Tulsa as well.
Sure,
going
absolutely.
way back to the early days.
Yes, that's right.
Well, let's bring it to present time, Pastor, and let's talk about today's event. So what will go on, kind of give us the time, place, who's invited, things like that.
Yeah. Well, today it will be right at 12 noon at the gazebo on the Garfield County Courthouse lawn. We will pledge allegiance to the American flag, Christian flag. We'll sing a song, and then we have key civic leaders and pastors who will be leading us in a time of prayer, and we'll close with an opportunity to pray the Lord's Prayer together so that it really ties everything together for the people who are there to pray. And we're particularly blessed that you'll be there with us, Steve, today. You'll be bringing the prayer for the media in this area, so we're thankful for your involvement and look forward to a good day. Sounds like the rain's not going to be around, so we should have pleasant afternoon, and we're planning to be concluded by about 12:45. So anybody who can take their lunch break and come join us, we'd love to have you come and be a part of that, and then you can get back to work in good order too.
Okay. I know usually there's a theme each year. What is the theme this year, and where did it derive from?
Yeah, well, there's a National Day of Prayer Task Force, which is a independently funded organization that promotes prayer in the United States, and so they're the ones who create the theme. This year's theme is Love One Another, and there's actually a theme verse, and it comes from 1 John, which is one of the small letters towards the back of the Bible, and it's one verse, 1 John 4:7, and it says this, Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Yeah, so love one another. That's a great theme, and that's what we'll be focusing in on this afternoon.
Now, Pastor, is that a national theme, or is that an Enid theme?
No, that is the national theme.
Okay,
yes.
So each community kind of goes from there. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So I asked you earlier, why did you get involved? So how can other people get involved?
Well,
if they want to get involved,
come and pray. Come and pray. Really, that's it. Everybody's welcome to join us this afternoon, and as we gather, as we sing, and have opportunity to pray, you can be involved in that way. If you'd like to help support the cause next year, I'm sure we'd be glad to have your help as well. Like you said, it's hosted by the Enid Ministerial Alliance, and so we have members who are the ones who are helping lead the event today.
And you mentioned some of the business leaders and just different individuals.
Yeah.
Are there some names that come to mind that you can share with us this morning that will be there to pray at the gazebo?
Yeah, well, I know Corey Moore will be there praying, representing
Corey.
the banking area. Bill Shaw, who's a local attorney, he'll be praying for the government. Also, Matt Lohman, who represents Hope Outreach Ministries, he'll be there praying on behalf of families, I believe, today. Several others, too.
You mentioned Ministerial Alliance. What is the function of the Ministerial Alliance? So I guess we kind of understand it's a group of pastors and ministers that maybe get together and kind of do group things. But
yeah.
Excuse me.
We meet on a monthly basis, usually the first Thursday at noon, and it's a group of pastors and Christian-based ministries that just get together basically to support and encourage one another, and also to promote unity within the body of Christ here in Enid, where we can show the love of Jesus in very practical ways. And so we get together to encourage and bless and find out more of what's going on in our community so that we can support that too.
Okay. For those that may be just joining us, can you summarize the events again, top to bottom?
Yeah, thanks, Derek. Well, it's today at noon, 12 noon at the gazebo on the Garfield County Courthouse lawn. And we'll meet from about 12 to 12:45. We'll have opportunity to to share the pledges and sing and have different civic and pastors lead us in a time of prayer. We'll be done by 12:45, so you can get back to work if you're on your lunch break.
All right.
Well, we'll continue our visit with Pastor Mark McAdow, excuse me, from Willowview Methodist Church here in just a few moments. And as we're talking about the National Day of Prayer event right here in Enid, Oklahoma. Well, it's 7:50 on this Thursday, May 2nd. Can't believe it's May, but ready or not, it's here. It's going to keep on trucking. And in case you missed the news earlier, we want to go back to the bow tie guy, Mr. Derek Silas with the Oklahoma Minute.
Thank you, Steve. Monday, coming up, will be the City Council meeting where the mayor-elect and commissioners-elect will be sworn in. This will also be the first budget discussion meeting with 3 other expected dates to follow, with an expected approval date by March 23rd. The Oklahoma Flying Aces will play the Omaha Beef this Saturday at 7:05 p.m. at the Stride Bank Center here in Enid, Oklahoma. And also this Saturday will be the Kentucky Derby at 5:50 p.m. in Louisville, Kentucky. It will be broadcasted by NBC. And here's an Enid fun fact. W.B. Johnson in 1893 began selling seeds and feed to local settlers, and in 1910 he invested in a 40,000 bushel grain elevator, making Johnston Seed Company now the oldest and largest independent grain and seed dealer in Oklahoma. And on this day in history in 1933, the modern legend of the Loch Ness Monster is born when there's a sighting by a local couple. And that's the Oklahoma Minute.
Welcome inside the Stride Bank Center. I'm the general manager, Kevin Brisky, and as you can see behind me, the football field is going down for the second home game of the Oklahoma Indoor Flying Aces. This Saturday, 7 o'clock, they're going to take on the Omaha Beef. You're not going to want to miss it. If you missed the home opener, what an exciting game it was. A lot of high energy, fast-paced action. Whether you're a football fan or not, it's a ton of fun. Great night out for the family. Think about it. 4 tickets, only $48. Where else can you get 3 hours of entertainment for that price right here in Enid, Oklahoma? And it's something completely different than you've probably ever seen before. So check it out. In fact, 2 months of a lot of football here, May 4th, May 11th, and then the first 3 Saturdays in June. We will have Indoor Flying Aces football here. You don't want to miss it. Check it out. Come support the local team and have a ton of fun while you're doing it. So reminder, May 4th, May 11th, 7 o'clock, check out one of those 2 games. We're going to put our operations crew to the test because once this game is over Saturday night, we flip right to a concert. The Beach Boys is going to be here on May 5th. What a great show they put on 3 years ago. You're not going to want to miss it. Just a legendary act that has so many hits you can't even name them all in probably a few minutes because there are just that many that are so recognizable and still played on the radio today. Tickets for that start at just $50. Going to be an awesome show. Now that show starts at 6 o'clock. It's on this Sunday, but you don't want to miss it. Other things that we have coming up, We Will Rock You will be October 20th. That is a musical by Queen that's going to play, that has a bunch of music by Queen in the musical and has a great storyline. That was originally done on the West End of London, so not just a national, an international production coming right here to Enid, Oklahoma. That's going to be October 20th. And then we just announced the Isaacs coming for a Christmas show on December 12th. That's in conjunction with the Baptist Foundation of Oklahoma. We're excited to have that show here on December 12th and excited that the Baptist Foundation of Oklahoma is coming back to Enid. Now, we will have another concert announcement on Monday. Stay tuned for that. You're not going to want to miss this one, and that'll happen Monday morning, so check that out as well. A lot going on here at the Stride Bank Center. For tickets, 855-TICKS-ENID, stridebankcenter.com, or just stop down and see us, 2nd floor of Convention Hall. Until next time, we'll send it back into the studio with you, Steve.
Great job, Kevin, and it's always exciting to see what's going on at the Event Center or the Stride Bank Center, and from a rodeo dirt floor to a football field. It's pretty impressive. It's 7:54. Let's take a look at the bus stop forecast for real quick.
Oh, looks like right now it's about 52 degrees outside with a low of 53 and a high of 62 today. So the winds are out of the northeast between 10 and 14 miles per hour.
We've had kind of a cloudy, rainy week, so I think today's going to be like that. The 3-day forecast looks pretty good. If you need to do yard work or go to the football game or see the Beach Boys or whatever, we've got some great weather for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Got some 70-degree weather and 50s and 60s. Again, there's a chance of storms on Sunday, so keep that in mind. If you're able to stay with us at 8 o'clock in about 6 minutes or 5 minutes, I had the opportunity to sit down and talk with Leslie Osborne. Ms. Osborne is the commissioner, if you will, of the Department of Labor. Very important role for the state of Oklahoma. She talks about that role and about workplace safety, and that's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. So, okay, we need to talk about our pets.
Our favorite section of this segment. This is going to be a dog named Egster. So we're going to hear from Charlotte about this dog.
Hello, good morning. Today we have Egster. Egster is in pen 26. He is a 2-year-old pit bull mix. He's male and he's very sweet and loving, and he's looking for his new home. So come by and meet Egster today.
Thank you, Charlotte. We appreciate Charlotte and the work the Animal Control Group does all the time. Again, that number is 249-4910. And again, a reminder, a little disclaimer, if you adopt Egster and you don't care for the name Egster, you have the option to change it to Pastor Mark. You could change it to
Steve.
To be named. I've been named. Never mind. My name's been used after animals. Okay. Well, okay. National Day of Prayer is why we're all here today, and thank you for joining us on Good Morning Enid. And just a quick summary: today's events, 12 noon at the gazebo.
Yes.
Everybody's welcome.
Absolutely.
Be through by
Come
what
and
time?
pray. We'll be done by 12:45.
Okay, and different business leaders and pastors and will be there. Everyone is invited. Pastor McAdow, you wanted to share with us, I think people are familiar with this scripture verse in the Old Testament in 2 Chronicles. You want to share that with us as we close out?
I just think it's a great call to prayer, Steve. 2 Chronicles 7, verse 14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. What a great word for us today. Christian people are called to pray, and God says He will answer our prayers and He will heal our land. What a blessing.
You know, I really don't watch much television, but I was watching C-SPAN last night. Where I'm going with this is that they had the hearing with the Attorney General, William Barr, with some of the Senate leaders. And it was so vicious.
Yes, it was.
It was so vicious, and I thought, here I am watching on TV, how critical and kind of mean-spirited some of these comments were towards different individuals. Right. And it just made me kind of reflect on today, where we're at as a country. We got excuse me, we got 30 seconds or so to go. What does that 2 Chronicles just mean to you?
Well, I think this passage just says that it's our responsibility as Christian people to pray. And that's what God has called us to do. And He said He will answer our prayers. And so there's probably no greater investment than we can make than prayer. You know, we can vote for our leaders. We can support them in many different ways. But prayer is probably the best way, because that's going to make the greatest difference. So this is our opportunity as a nation, all across this nation, to gather for prayer. So I'm glad we can do that right here in Enid, and hope to see you there this afternoon at 12 noon.
And that's definitely a reminder for me to pray for those people that I watched on TV
there
last
you go.
night.
That's right.
Kind of deal. All right. Derek, thank you for your help this morning. It's good to see you. Pastor Mark, thank you for being here. 12 noon today, National Day of Prayer event in Enid, Oklahoma. This is Good Morning Enid. Have a great Thursday, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Amen.